All right, here we're going to look at how to do the 6% COVID vaccine line. This is the layout that we're going to have at the Met group. It's going to make more sense later, I hope. And this is just a basic flow of how people are going to check in and how they're going to check out. We're going to have essentially 4 teams. For the check-ins, it's going to be myself and Dre. The vaccinators are going to be Sergeant Hampton and Gallagher. For checkouts, it's going to be Drop, and the Vax facilitator is going to be PETA. So this is where we're going to be sitting at for check-in. Vaccinators and PETA, who's also going to be helping them out. And then for checkout, it's going to be Drop. And we're going to essentially going to have 2 teams. So I'm basically working with Hampton, who's going to have the odd chairs on the layout. And then Dre is going to be helping Gallagher with the even chairs. So I'm going to be taking care of chairs 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. And then Dre is going to be taking care of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so on and so forth. So we're going to have patients walk in, and the first thing that we're going to do is going to be check in with myself and Dre. So we're going to be checking in 2 people at the same time, and hopefully they should have their CAC and their COVID form ready. We're going to have an Excel sheet and the CAC barcode scanners in our table. Our Excel sheet should look something like this, where we have a seat number. Notice that mine only has odd numbers. And after that, we have the barcode. So whenever you scan a CAC, it gives you a barcode that looks kind of like that. And it automatically inputs it into Excel. And that's what's going to help us retrieve the patient information from ASIMS. We're also going to put the unit, the name, and the date of birth, and unfortunately those things we're gonna have to do manually, so we're gonna have to type fast to be able to check in these patients quickly. This is what their form is gonna look like. From what I heard, less than half of the people that show up have this, so we're gonna have to be prepared to basically push people out and be like, hey, go ahead and fill this out, and then whenever you're done with it, just go ahead and come back to us. But if they are ready, they should have filled out parts 1 through 6. Should look something like this. And on these 3 blue squares right here, we're gonna be putting stickers instead of writing by hand the screener and the vaccinator information and the lock number and expiration date. We're just going to have barcodes that already have all that info in there, and we can just stick them. So this is what the barcodes that I got from the labels that I got from logistics, what they look like. And this is what we're gonna put in them. So we're just gonna put the name of the 2 vaccinators, which is gonna be Hampton and Gallagher, and the current date. And in some other labels, we're gonna put the lot number for the vaccine and the expiration date. And this should hopefully expedite our process, so we're not writing all this information for all these patients. We just grab a label and stick it on there on those spots, and it should look something like that once we put the stickers on there. So we just fill out forms 8, 10, the blocks 8, 10, and 13. Those are all going to be the same. The only things that are going to be different is in those red squares, which is going to be whether it is their first dose or their second dose, and then the site that they want to put the vaccine on. So we're just going to ask the patient, hey, do you want a left or right deltoid? Then we're going to go ahead and write the seat number on the top. So, for example, I'll put a number 1 and I'll put a circle on it, and then I'll instruct the patient to go ahead and take a seat on chair number 1. And Dre is going to ask him to take a seat on chair number 2. So, myself and Dre, we should be working basically at the same speed as a team to start filling those chairs out. Once everything is said and done, at the check-in area, the only box that's going to be blank is going to be spot 17. And that's also going to be blanked during checkout. So whenever Drop is checking out patients, that spot is still going to be blank. That's fine. We're not going to fill out that box until we input all their information into ASIMS, which hopefully we can do it in between check-ins. But if we're not able to, we have 24 hours to put it in, and it is what it is. So after that, they're good to go. Patients are checked in. So basically a summary of what the check-in is we scan their CAC, which automatically puts the barcode into the Excel sheet, which is what's going to help us put their information into ASIMS. We manually input demographics, and this is just a redundancy. In case they don't have an ASIMS account, we're able to find them in Alta or some other service so that we can actually put their vaccination records in. Let's see. We are also going to fill out the rest of the form. We're going to ask them if it's their first or second dose. Their arm preference, we'll fill that out. And then we'll go ahead and assign seats. And I'm going to be filling out odd seats. And Dre's going to be filling out even seats. And that's because I'm going to be putting all the labels for Hampton. And Dre is going to be putting all the labels for Gallagher. And so that way we're able to work faster. So after that, patients are going to begin to move to their assigned seats as shown in here. And vaccination begins. So this is what it's going to look like from the side. So it's going to be Hampton, PETA, and Gallagher. And notice that the patient chairs are going to be facing each other. This is going to allow access to both arms. And patients are also going to be able to passively monitor each other. If they're having an adverse reaction, hopefully they're going to have someone in front of them and they're going to be able to see, hey, something doesn't look right, and then alert one of us if something does happen. Vaccinators are just going to ask questions. If they've been sick in the past 72 hours, if they've had a vaccine in the past 14 days, that sort of stuff. And then the vaccine facilitator is going to write the time of the vaccination on the top of the form. Notice that the chair assignment, it's already been written during check-in. So the Vax facilitator, which is PETA, she's just writing the time of injection. She's also going to hand out the CDC COVID vaccine record card, blank one. And she's also going to hand out the record card instructions. So what does this mean, handing out the record card instructions? So we're basically going to have the patients fill out their own CDC cards. And so it's going to look something like this, where we give them a small piece of paper with instructions that says, fill out your name, this is your lot number, the clinic site is Hill Air Force Base, and then the patient is going to fill out the card on their own. To further drive this point home as to why I want the patients to write on their own CDC cards, this is basically what the vaccination time looks like. So they check in, they get vaccinated, then they have to wait 14 minutes, and then they check out. And so during those 14 minutes, there's basically this aisle period where they have the time to write on their own CDC card. And if we don't do that, that time is going to go somewhere else, whether it is on check-in, vaccination, or check-out. So I think it's best to have the patients write their own cards, since they have to sit there for 14 minutes anyway. This is what my vaccination record card looks like. So if you look at it, there's no signature, nothing legit about it. anyone can just write on it. So I think it's fine if the patient just writes their own information while they're waiting. Continuing on the duties of the vaccine facilitator, which is PETA. She's also going to answer patient and vaccinator concerns and send patients to the 30-minute section as needed, which is a lot, but she has a 14-minute window for every 10 patients. Now, the vaccinators, they're just asking the questions and they're just vaccinating. And simplicity should build proficiency and efficacy. So basically, if they just focus on vaccinating, hopefully they're able to keep the ball rolling, because it is going to be a lot of people getting vaccinated. So I want them to be able to just focus on that. So what the vaccination in motion, vaccinators and facilitator are going to move as a team. So it's essentially going to be looking like this. Immunize these people, then move on. Vaccinate, move, then go ahead and load more vaccines or wait for the next chairs to fill in, and then go ahead and continue. Load more vaccines, and then repeat. And so it's just going to be this circle. Now, the 30-minute section. Some patients require 30 minutes of monitoring versus 15 minutes. So if we have a patient that says, hey, I need, or, well, I mean, the patient's not going to tell you, but if PETA or any of the vaccinators deem that someone needs to be monitored for 30 minutes, then they're going to go ahead and vaccinate at their assigned seat. So, for example, this person on chair 1 is going to get vaccinated right there on chair 1, and then they're going to be asked to go directly to the 30-minute section on any chair. So, stab, and they go ahead and take a seat, and then we go ahead and continue vaccinating. And so that way we're able to just keep those the people that need to be monitored for 30 minutes in another section, so that way we can keep on vaccinated people at the 15-minute interval as opposed to a 30-minute interval. Then we also have the standby section. So as seats fill and empty, the check-in overflow is going to wait over in the podium and the standby section. And this is going to allow the people that are waiting there to go to their assigned seat to view the current status of their assigned seat. And it's also going to prevent crowding in the hallway. And so, yeah, that's that. Now for the checkout is going to be drop. He's going to take lead in any adverse reactions that occur during vaccinations. He's also going to check that the CDC card is filled out. He's going to check that the screening form is filled out, and then he's going to take it from the patient for filing, and he's going to give the Hampton pile to myself and the Gallagher pile to Dre. So if we have any time during check-in while the patients are waiting, for example, we can go ahead and start putting in those forms on ASIMs, and that way we can stamp it and say we have updated the records on ASIMs, and then ultimately give that to the med group. He's also going to have any patient concerns. So patients are going to be going up to him. He's going to be like, hey, you feeling good? And we're like, yep, feeling good. And then he's going to be clearing the patients to leave. Any questions, concerns, or improvements, just send that on the text or just let me know, and that way we can work on this.